He put
100%.
the fucking fear of God in me. I'm like, this is the guy you live to be on his own. He's a monster. Welcome. Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. It's episode 18, Think Talk. We're back again with nuanced topics and social commentary as usual. And without further ado, I'm jumping right into the first topic of the day. And this one is an interesting one. Yeah, Ibra. It's very interesting. And I hope that I don't describe this particular storyline as, I hope that I don't describe it in a way that makes me sound discriminatory. Yeah, I hope I don't. Okay. So it's about the videos that we see coming out of India lately. So it's I'm a little bit skeptical, but okay. We've been seeing quite a few videos coming out of India where you try to get food in India and then you see the people making the food. I've seen, like, for example, this person literally was making the flour, putting the flour into the shape that it has to be with their armpit. I saw another one mixing the entire drink or something, elbows deep, like literally. But what's crazy is that they don't just go elbows deep. The entire place is so unhygienic, and they might even scrub their balls before dipping their hand in the stuff. And they literally serve that to people, and people drink it. When it started coming out, maybe it was, one place or a few places in the slums that might have been like that. But with time, we started seeing a lot more videos like this coming from different parts of India. Now, we wanted to talk about it because we thought that this could be creating a perception, or it could be creating problems that we don't realize. The extent to which those videos become viral could also be creating incentives for people in India to actually make more videos like that. And it has become such an issue. For example, Ibrahim mentioned that he saw a report about not showering every day on the internet, right? They saw a report, like a research that was done, and these guys from, was it MIT? Maybe you can tell us about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just basically like this research that shows that you don't necessarily have to have your bath like every day. And everyone on the, on the internet, like, at least on the post, like just making these, what's it called now, discriminatory comments that, this is definitely coming from Indian researchers, and we are not accepting this one. Like, I find that quite interesting.
Exactly, and that's why we wanted to bring this topic here, because we see now that whether it's the incentive that makes more and more of those videos come out nowadays, or the impact that it has on Indian perception, in the perception of Indians internationally, what would their experience be like, especially the ones that are not living in India? What are your thoughts, Ibra?
I mean, I've never been to India, but I genuinely want to believe that this cannot be happening everywhere in the country, because India is a subcontinent also, so it's quite big. And this sort of images, I think, is problematic for the same reason that you mentioned. And I believe that, like you also said, that the incentive to also monetize this sort of content. I mean, my assumption initially was that maybe people who visit the country as a tourist or as tourists make these sort of videos. But now I'm starting to believe that maybe the indigenous or the locals themselves are also making these videos because of the virality of these sort of videos, and you can definitely monetize them and make a lot of money from them. Yeah, I just feel like it's not looking good for an Indian person living in India. If you are like creating that sort of content, you might not necessarily know what the impact is for Indians living in diaspora, for example. And I genuinely believe that it's not as organic as we think. That would be my conclusion.
It's problematic, right? It's problematic for the ones in diaspora. And what do you think? Like, when people interact with, so for us, we came to Europe, we ended up in universities doing our masters. We had experience with Indians that are highly educated people as well and other stuff. So we can tell the difference. And this is why we're having this question of, it cannot be, because we know so many of these Indians, very hygienic. They don't have any sort of smell or whatever. They don't eat dirty stuff. They really take care of themselves. But we know that. But then there are other people that are not as exposed as we are, and they have this perception of Indians. And I remember you made a comment about what would be the experience of an average Indian guy on the dating website, for example, just because of the perception that videos like that would create.
I came across a few comments because that particular comment that you made about like an average Indian on a dating app, there was this other post that I saw like a while back, and I forgot what it was about, but a lot of Indians were in the comment section and they were really coming out and saying that, yeah, it's really the experience is like has not been great because people really perceive them in a sort of way. And I can definitely understand that because either the accent, like the shaking of head, like I'm a black person. I mean, we also have our own sort of stereotypes and all. For the most part, I feel like I know the good ones, I know the bad ones. The only good one I think for an Indian, like globally, is that they are quite smart. They can be the tech guys, like the hackers, like your fang. Yeah, exactly. See, but aside that, when it comes to like off career and everything, is mostly negative.
Yeah, I mean, it's the point that we have made around if content will make money and then it creates an incentive for people to go lean into wrong stereotypes like that, they would do it. I feel like they have a feeling that they can escape that perception by having money. Because otherwise, why would you want to tarnish the image of your country just to make some little $5 or $10,000, whatever it is? It's just not, it's never going to be worth it, right? I know we're talking about it now, but I have a feeling that we also don't fully understand it, which is okay. But guys, in the comment section, let us know what are your thoughts about these videos and what are your experience. I mean, the Indian people that watch us as well, we would like to know what your experiences have been about, in the diaspora, when you interact with other people and when you interact with people that maybe have the wrong perception of Indians. I mean, as black people, we know, I've told you some of the experiences that I have had as well, because, well, the image of Africa in Europe is that, oh, they're hungry, they're blah, blah. It's not to brag or anything. I meet someone that I could potentially feed their entire family, see me, and then I don't even think I look like someone that is hungry. And then they say like, oh, what do you need? How can I help you? And I'm thinking, hey, shut the fuck down.
Yeah, the savior complex.
Like, what do you mean? How can you help me? But it's a perception thing. Yeah, that savior complex, and it's the experience. I have a friend, like super young girl, went to Ghana just because she's white. Some very silly guys would go to her and ask her to support them with rent or buy me a laptop for my school stuff. And this girl, I don't even think she was 20 years old then, right? So imagine she now engages with another black person. She unfortunately has the wrong perception and feels like, this person is going to bill me again. So we know as black people as well that we have some of those negative stereotypes and the impact that it has on us perception wise. But I just feel like the hygiene one can be very challenging to get over, right? Because people would just think when, it's if someone thinks of me and they think, I have to save them, it's better than they think of me and they assume that I probably smell very terrible. I feel like and I think some people have that perception of black people as well, like, oh, they smell. It's just, I want to get the thoughts of like Indian people, especially with regards to those unhygienic videos that are running all over the internet.
I've seen most of these videos also. And the interesting thing is a lot of Indians in the comments would almost always say, this is not India. This is Bangladesh or this is Pakistan. Or the world would also just see that, and India is like, when you see, people who look like that, they just assume they are all Indian. So yeah, and I think that's not good for Indian branding.
Please let us know in the comment section, what are your experiences what are your thoughts about this particular topic. Now, I have another topic, which is a little bit about dirty laundry as well, but this time around, dirty laundry being washed and packed in. It's a story of Jonathan Majors. So Jonathan Majors was the guy, it was Kang from Ant-Man. Yeah, and it was also the antagonist from Creed 3. So he's an American actor, American black actor, that recently just got engaged to Megan Good. Literally, Megan Good left a pastor guy.
I went for the bad guy.
Yeah, and Megan went for him, and now they are engaged. But that's not the big news. The big news is that he lost his endorsement, he lost his role as Kang in Ant-Man, and the entire Marvel contract, lost all that solely because there was a case against him by his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. She's white, by the way. I need to mention that because there's been a lot of comments around, a black man with a white woman and whatever it is, and see what it turns out to be or whatever. And considering that Megan Good, a black woman, stood through him throughout all those issues and, stood still.
Last comment, yeah.
She's been there for him. To be honest, like when I look at it from outside, I'm like, whoo! She has really been there for him at the lowest of the low in his life, exactly. And, Grace Jabari, there was a case against him of, I think it was assault and all that stuff. And the case has been going on for a bit. I saw the video that was shown in court, and I still don't understand why that case wasn't like a slam dunk. Okay, there's nothing here. I don't understand. I'm not saying maybe I didn't get the full extent of the whole thing. And from what I've heard, it seems like they were both at fault. Couples will have issues, and there's no one good side or bad side. It's just that when you take it to court and one person is suffering indiscriminately, I think there needs to be some sort of balance in how that is dealt with. Because I saw videos of Jonathan actually running away from Grace and Grace running after, and is still at fault, because they sort of mentioned something like escalation to physical assault, something like this. Anyways, luckily after the engagement, Grace decided to withdraw the case. So the two lawyers, the case is now dismissed, but it's not dismissed without prejudice, by the way. It's dismissed with prejudice. Basically, they're saying Grace has decided to just let go out of the goodness of her heart. He has lost everything, but out of the goodness of her heart, she's deciding to let go. They have settled it now. Jonathan is finally free again off the shackles of this case. Now what everyone is waiting for is whether he will get back what he has lost. What are your thoughts?
To answer your last, that wasn't a question, but like the curiosity of if he will get back what he has lost, I think he's probably not going to get that. We've seen this several times. Even with already established like bigger artists or like celebrities, it's never always the same. Also, there's no way he can fully redeem his image or his name in this sort of thing, whether even guilty or not guilty, if they were to really pursue this whole thing like in the court of law, right? So some people just already made up their conclusions and like this is for me, he did it or he didn't do it sort of situation. Hard dropping the case out like with prejudice. I feel like I'm not sure which is worse. Definitely would be happy to be able to be done with this whole thing, but I guess this is also another permanent dent on his name. It's like saying, you know what, I forgive you. What if I didn't do anything wrong to be forgiven or to let go? So we are just, you are putting yourself above the whole situation and saying, you know what, even though I believe you've wronged me, but I decide to let it go. So he would never also be able to at least publicly redeem himself. He would be definitely happy to just, the whole lawyer court situation, exactly, to just get that over with. That's already a win, and I think anyone will be happy to have that. But it's just unfortunate, I think.
And I have to mention that it was also was actually found guilty and convicted of misdemeanor assault and harassment in connection with an altercation in Manhattan. And that was the one that we saw the video of him inside the car. And when you even hear the lawsuit is, just listen to this. It was an assault and defamation lawsuit. It was filed, and the accusation is that he subjected her to escalating incidents of physical and verbal abuse during their relationship, including assault, battery, defamation, and infliction of emotional distress. So that was the incident in Manhattan, where Jonathan, she claimed they were arguing in the car. They were arguing in the car, and there was a jealous rage, blah, blah. So she said Oh, he did so much in the backseat, hit her head with his open hand, twisted her arm, fractured her fingers. But Jonathan was just saying, look, she was the aggressor and she was only trying to get his phone and run away. Yeah, but when the video came out, it was clearly seen that something happened in the car. There wasn't proof, something happened in the car. You can't see what happened in the car. But what you can see was him getting out of the car and literally running away from this woman. But then the court saw all that and still convicted him. But of course, they convicted him for misdemeanor assault. So basically, he wasn't sent to jail, but he was asked to go on a 1-year counseling program. But the moment that conviction came through, Marvel dropped him. Everyone dropped him.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
It is sad. It is sad. And he has lost all that now. It was literally been screamed out for a potential Oscar performance, blah, blah. And that's all down the drain now. May never win an Oscar in his life anymore.
You would have to have a very strong agent to still be able to do anything major with his career. And honestly, to also add to the point that he's a black man. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the truth. Yeah, he would really struggle. He would really struggle.
It's a bit sad, right? Really, because what I'm thinking now is that why does the state have to interfere so much when couples have some issues that could be like, I understand that she took it to court. The state have to, the justice system have to run its own course. I understand that. But again, we've asked this question so many times. There's a discriminatory application of the consequence of issues like that. And men just suffer and suffer like crazy. Because again, we just talked about the Johnny Depp Amber situation. And after Amber was found guilty of fucking Johnny's life up, she still got in a movie. A big movie. It still got published. And it was still it wasn't Marvel, it was DC, Aquaman, right? But it was a big studio. The Universal Studios still put out Amber as a movie. The consequence of issues like that it's just discriminatory.
The reasons that if you're talking about why men are opting out of marriages or even relationships, we are all seeing this. It's real time, right? We see the implications, the consequences on things. And we know there are situations where men do horrible things to women, but women also do horrible things to men, right? But like you said, there's this imbalance when it comes to how it affects them, whether guilty or not. For a man, I'm of the opinion that you don't have to be guilty. If you just have any sort of allegations like this as a celebrity, just know you are feeling the heat regardless. But for women, she might actually be guilty, like the Amber Heard situation. And you still notice that the impact of that is not life ruining for her. And it's concerning, right? Then you just know you want to opt out of things like that, right? To sort of protect yourself. So and I get that too. Where I was driving at is that the system sort of want to balance the power dynamics between men and women, I want to believe, because naturally men are more powerful than women. So I think by so doing, they can scare men if they know this is going to be a really life-ruining thing for you, to really make sure you are scared of even thinking about that. But the consequence or the unintended consequence is that even when you are not guilty, you can still sort of have an impact of a guilty person effect on your life, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean that's the effect that it's having, right? So it's almost like it's one of those things where you have to walk on eggshells to avoid it entirely. Otherwise, whether guilty or not, you will still suffer the consequence of a guilty person. So moving on to another topic where a man won big in life in an unexpected way. And this man that has won big in life in an unexpected way is the Italian artist called Maurizio Cattelan. Maurizio Cattelan just sold an art piece. I call it art piece, but the name of the art piece is called Comedian. It's a very funny art piece. He sold it for, the artwork this year, auctions in the artwork this year has been one of the slowest in history. But he sold an art piece called Comedian for $6.2 million, including $1 million in fees. So $5.2 million, but they have to pay $1 million in fee. And the artwork is a banana duct tape taped to the wall.
The picture is definitely going up there.
Bro,
like,
I
on the
mean, we're
screen.
laughing. It's a banana duct taped to the wall. Debuted in 2019. It was funny at the time. It was it was comic relief for people in the art community. A little bit of critiquing went around it as well, but it had the last laugh because $6.2 million. Before you tell me what you think, what is actually going on there, I give you a little bit of a backstory of who bought it. The name of the guy that bought this art piece is called Justin Sun. Yeah, Justin Sun is a Chinese crypto founder, and he said that his motivation for buying it is because he wanted to show the connection between the art world, memes, and cryptocurrency. And he wanted to have that written in history. And keep in mind, he said, as a testament to the fact that he wants it written in history, he's going to actually eat that banana.
So the banana will be gone.
It's good. The banana will be gone. It's just going to be a duct tape. This is an art piece. This is an art piece that will never be resold. What are your thoughts?
My thought would be to throw a question back to you to be like, who bought the art piece? Now it's clear, right? If I didn't know this, I would have said, it's definitely something shady going on. But now it's you connected the dots already. Like crypto and art, illegal money. There's no other way.
Absolutely.
Because the art world itself has been like, is this questionable industry or like sort of section where people have always said, yeah, for the rich people to, to launder money, to do this, to do that. Then combining crypto that is having this, definitely is just some way to launder money. That's just 100% what I think.
So let's play this scenario. I do a shady stuff. This guy have created a cryptocurrency. I do something shady. I link up to Morayo, and I linked up to the Justin's guy. They pay me through that crypto. I tell Morayo, look, your artwork is about to be sold. You get it, and then you pay me back in. Maybe Morayo actually took that 6.2 and bought Bitcoin completely. So now you have a cleaner crypto, and they know where the money is from.
This should be investigated, to be honest, because it just doesn't sit right.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It should be investigated. And one thing that I'm a little bit concerned about as well is that they mention here that the art piece debuted in 2019 at the Art Basel Fair in Miami.
It can't be, right? Or unless it's being showcased in a refrigerated room or something, because it will be rotten already.
Exactly. And this guy is saying he wants to eat the banana. They are now basically destroying evidence.
Destroying evidence.
Bro, that's absolutely what's happening. Because now, where would the investigation start from? She tell me say, you tell me say, or what? Because that's a fucking banana, man. Next topic. I was just talking about she tell me say, you tell me say. You know where I'm going with this one. This last week, we got some of the best albums of the year that will probably be nominated. I'm pretty sure both albums will be nominated for Grammys next year, guaranteed. I can bet anything with you on this. And I would like to hear your thoughts. So let's do like a little bit of back and forth review our opinions of this album. And at the end of each, we'll give whatever rating you feel you want to give this album. Yeah. The first one we're going to go into is Morayo by Wizkid. It has been the most anticipated Afrobeat album in the last 2-3 years. And it's finally out. We've listened to it like a lot of times. What are your thoughts? What do you rate this album?
To be honest, it's growing on me. I listened to it the first time and I felt like the hype was definitely a lot more than the quality of the work. But now I listen like 2-3 times from beginning to end, and I'm sort of feeling like, okay. It gets better as I listen to it. I wasn't expecting to get an album that would grow on me. I want an album that hits when you first listen to it. It's like, oh, this is quality work. This is good. This is worth the wait, right? But I didn't have that. Overall, I rate it like 7 out of 10. And 10 being like the best. The first half of the album definitely sounds like an album work, but then the other half, not like it doesn't sound like a project, but it just feels like he was trying to be someone else. The first part, I really felt like, oh, this is Wizkid. Like, I forgot the title of the songs now, but I think the one song that stood out for me, I forgot the number of tracks also, I think 15 or something. But like the second half was Soji, and I feel like, okay, that's proper like vibely Afrobeat song. Yeah, I would give it 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Okay. So, my own thoughts, I'll try to make it as structured as possible. It was a good album. Yeah, it is a good album. Unfortunately, it wasn't a blow your mind album for me. It wasn't an out of expectation album. Again, we're talking about Wizkid here. Wizkid standalone, you already expect a lot from him. But the Wizkid that did all the marketing stuff, the dirty marketing, the good marketing for this one album, now it even raises that expectation. How long has he postponed the release of this album as well?
2 years, I think.
Exactly. So now expectation is super high. And, it went hard, especially with the dirty marketing stuff. In general, it's a good album. What made the album good? For me, the beats on the album, 10 over 10. The features on the album, 10 over 10. I think every song that had a feature on that album, I have to give it to it. And then for all the singles, where it was so singles, there were some that was like a hit. Like, I'm like, nah, that's a song. I give it to it. And some of them, they were not exactly catching the vibe for me. Not because they were not good songs, but it just felt like a part of some of the songs that I already said, okay, that's a good one. And then it feels like it's one song that was just split into two to have more tracks on the track list. So the beginning of the album caught me super strongly. And then it died off. The middle was strong. The beginning was strong. The end for me was a little bit, okay, I get it. But I sort of just lose focus. My ranking for the album is 7 over 10 as well. And I give it 7 over 10 solely because it's a good album. But it wasn't an exceptional. It was an album of Wizkid just saying, I'm Wizkid, I do whatever I want. I will sing whichever way I want. I didn't get a new Wiz. Which is okay. Yeah. Maybe that's not his goal. I didn't get a new Wiz. I didn't get a developed Wiz.
I think the quality dropped from Made in Lagos also. Because I then listened to one of the rounds that I had with the album, right? I then listened to Made in Lagos immediately after. The first thing that hit me was it sounded the same, right? That's the same vibe you get. But then listening to that after Morayo, the contrast was also clear that he was losing his vocal. The vocal that he had on Made in Lagos was suited for Made in Lagos than this.
Yeah, I agree with you. And what I saw was that Wizkid is just comfortable where he is now. He cannot make a wrong step. It's a 7 over 10 album that will break all the sales record in Afrobeat. I can assure you that. To get nominated for a Grammy, why do more? Why test out stuff?
Yeah.
He didn't take any risk with the album. And every part of the album that I felt like, ooh, that hit me, it wasn't Wizkid voice that I was listening to. Apart from in a few songs. Right? It's Burning Fires, it's the other, it's like every part that you're like, ooh, you're vibing and you're like, oh, okay, but that's not Wiz, It's the bad girl with Ashake. It's like every time it was solely Wizkid, it was just normal.
Bese was only Wizkid. No, I think that stood out though. Kese, I said Bese.
Was it
Kese?
Kese? Yeah, Kese. Kese, that's what I wanted. Kese was a fire. That's why it's the second single. Piece of My Heart actually was a very good song as well. It's a very good song as well. With Brent Fire.
The guy side fire.
Because Brent, he carried the song. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Brent carried the song heavy. But yeah, the one single that caught, Kese was, yes. It was a good song. That was a good song. That's why I said, apart from like a few songs, a lot of the other songs, you listen to Wiz and you're like, okay, cool. It's good. It's Wizkid. Like, what do you expect? Of course it gives you good music. But it's not the groundbreaking stuff you expect from someone that marketed the album so much. It was just the Wiz of, you get what you get.
How long do you see doing this, like at the top for? How long do you see Wizkid?
I think it will go on a little bit longer than we expect.
even giving us this same thing.
Wizkid would sing the same song and only change the beat and it would still top the charts 5 years from now. I spoke to some Wizkid fans as well after listening. I listened to the album like 10 times already. And I'm telling you, I spoke to Wizkid fans just to get their opinion and they think this is the best thing after Sliced Bread. And it's not even Wizkid's top 2 best album. I still put Ayo or Made in Lagos over this album. And then when I tell them, is it better than Ayo? Is it better than Made in Lagos? They're like, but this album is just, have you seen the sales record? And I'm like, what do I care with the sales record? It's Wizkid. What do you expect? Like, I don't care about the sales record. I want to see quality music that feels refreshing. Every part of the album that was refreshing, it's either the beat or someone else singing.
What's with him with the same lyrics also? How difficult is it for Wizkid to have writers at this point to give us something fresh?
No, this is Wizkid saying, I don't care being a songwriter. I don't care giving you something new melody-wise.
But I'm tired, and I'm a
just
Wizkid
enjoy
fan,
what I
bro,
give
and
you.
I'm tired.
It's a very lazy approach. It's a very lazy approach. I know people will come for me for saying this, but it's an extremely lazy approach to... Wizkid will make a good song that will top the charts sleeping, but solely because people don't care about the quality of the music, because it will make a good song that should be like mid-range on the chart, but it will get to the top of the chart because it has some of the most loyal fan bases in the world of music. I'm not even talking Africa now. In global music, Wizkid has some of the most loyal fan base that you can think of. They'll go to any length to make sure that he breaks record and all that stuff. I saw videos of people lining up 20 phones and playing the album on all the phones. And I was looking at that and I'm like, that's just micro farming in different areas of the world. And that would take the album to whatever sales record. And I guess Wiz doesn't care. It just, honestly, I just see a lazy king not even putting in an effort.
They're coming for his throne though. Definitely, I'm not excited to listen to his next album. Unless I hear some sort of single that is different. I will still listen because it's Wizkid. But then...
Well, that's what he would do. He would do the aggressive marketing. It would give... Bro, do you know how much we thought Morayo would be in a fresh sound? Do you know how much? Because of all the aggressive marketing, different. He dropped Kese and you're like, maybe Kese is the bridge. And it will just go farther away from Kese with the whole album and your mind will get blown away. Like the aggressive marketing was strong. Bro, I was ready to not listen to Wiz anymore before this one. But I had no choice but to listen. Like I told you, the marketing worked like, it just worked like ABC, bro. It worked perfectly. And I know that it has a team that is smart enough to do it again and again and again and again. The next album will probably come out 2-3 years from now. There'll be a deluxe version of this one with Kese Part 2 and you won't even
with a new guy on it, with some new twist to it.
And it would go. But that's what Wiz has. I think his fan base is super strong. I spoke to some of the people that are big Wizkid supporters as well. And I mean, you in your own way of assessing music, you feel like, no, you would have expected more. But I know people that are still, happy to argue Wizkid versus Davido or whatever. And they're like, this is the best thing ever. But we wish, I know the album will be successful. I don't even have to wish anyone anything. But let us know in the comment section what you think if you have heard Morayo, the Wizkid album. Now we're going to a second album. And it's called GNX by Kendrick Lamar. It just dropped randomly as well on a Friday evening. Before I share my thoughts, what are your thoughts and what do you rate the album?
Oof. I mean, I listened to that like twice. I think it's Kendrick at the end of the day. I prefer this to the previous one, the Mr. Morales or was that again? Yeah, I think this is a better one compared to that. I think he sort of tried to go a little bit commercial with this. That's what I see. With the beat that he used, I think he went with Mustard, and Mustard has this signature beat that, he just hits, And I feel like he didn't sort of do all these cryptic Kendrick, like poetic Kendrick. He was really fully going for something similar to the diss track that blew up with Drake. There was this particular song on the album that felt like a rip-off of that. Definitely. No one can tell me otherwise. It just felt like doom, 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 doom. I mean, overall, I would rate it like 8/10. I feel like Kendrick is definitely one of the greatest ever. And one thing that stood out with me was I was actually listening, even though with the commercial and everything, he's a rapper that makes me want to listen. Like, what is he up to? What is he trying to say and everything? And I think I enjoyed the album, and there will be a lot of successful singles out of the album, definitely.
Do you have a favorite single?
I do. I think that will be track 4. I forgot the name, the title. Nah, this Reincarnation, I think. Yeah, Reincarnation.
For me, it was between Man at the Garden and Reincarnated, and I was just like, I listened to it the second time, I was like, yep, it's Reincarnated. That was, that was a crazy song. And to your comment of him not doing anything poetic and just saying it as it is straight, he actually said it on one of the songs. He said it, I think it was on Whacked Morayo. It was like, fuck the double entendre. I'm trying to make sure they understand. My rating for the album is a little bit higher than yours. Not a little bit. It's like quite higher than yours. Because I feel for several reasons. One, it's the absolute current king of hip hop. One of the greatest rappers ever, in my opinion now. And this album brought out something else. So the first thing is, it was already trending on TikTok. And I'm thinking, when did hip hop trend last on TikTok? K Dot as well. You know what I mean? Like, this guy somehow, with his very hip hop like sound.
In 2024.
Again, the beats.
Yeah.
They are catchy, but super hip hop like. Do you know what I mean? Like the beats on this album. Jeez. The beats on this album, super, and he still rapped super hip hop like. He just rapped, man. He just rapped. And still, hip hop. Everyone is talking about hip hop again. This will be album of the year next year.
Yeah.
Not hip hop album of the year. Potentially album of the year. Like, this guy just rapped. And everyone is still talking about hip hop now. Like, bringing hip hop to our face in its raw form with the flows he had on this song, on this album, solidifies him as the current king of hip hop. Managed to also touch on topics. Talked about, hey, look, I was a big fan of Cat 3. I had my no one thanked me for my own success as let down Lil Wayne.
He said something on one track that even my grandma, if she says some shit to me, like, she's out. Like, you know, like, even people close to me, we don't have to agree or whatever. Like,
it was basically saying, look, maybe I get a lot of haters, yes, because I decide that I'm not going to just be friendly or there's the status quo that you don't. Like, fuck the status quo. Just be yourself. If they're friendly to you in this industry, let me give you an advice. We're not friends. Like, they might be friendly to you, but it doesn't mean you're friends. So do you, you know? He went on, you know, saying, oh, godlike, I'm the forefathers, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the Egyptians building the pyramid. He went ahead to do all the braggadocious things that he wanted to say, and it felt real. It felt acceptable. It's Kendrick. You know what I mean? Like, the whole flow, his voice, it was so
articulated, like, it was too smooth.
Like, I was listening to it and I'm like, why did Drake like
this is the guy?
Like, he could actually go toe to toe with this guy. Bro, I cannot tell you, like, I listened to the album and I'm like, I was scared myself. I'm not a fucking rapper and I was scared of going against this guy. Do you know what I mean? He put 100%. The fucking fear of God in me. I'm like, this is the guy you live to be on his own. He's a monster. Like, why did Drake even touched on the topic that we discussed here about shits and gigs, and because it was like, never let a white comedian talk about the black woman, and then they're laughing, blah, 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 they're coons. Like, he actually had a comment about, you know, the shits and gigs beat where they were laughing in that stuff. Whether I agree with him or not, I'm scared to even say anything because the delivery, I'm like, okay, yes, boss.
Yeah, he did that with that album. It's like, if anyone is thinking, is there no one else? You know that popular line in Hercules, like that movie from the past. It's like, if there's anyone else, let me know now. I'm still, exactly. Like, I think Lil Wayne is sort of saying something right now. Like, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Lil Wayne should be careful. Did you remember the video that I sent to you? Bro, do you remember the video that I sent to you of, I forgot, was it, no, it wasn't, it can't be LL Cool J. They were asking the guy about, oh, Lil Wayne didn't get the, Lil Wayne didn't get the Super Bowl stuff, and the guy was like, "Oh,
is that what we should listen to? Yeah, it's one of these popular podcast guys. Yeah.
Definitely the best rap album in a while. Actually, not just this year, in a while. Good stuff. I actually gave the album 9/10. Yeah, to be honest, because it's the best in a while. The impact on hip hop is not small. It was definitely better than Mr. Morayo's and stuff. Like on Damn level, and Damn was that album as well. You know, like. Nah, I mean, of course, Good Kid, Mad City, Damn. This is a classic. This album will go down as a hip hop classic.
Bro, he didn't promote this album. He just dropped it like unexpectedly.
Just dropped it. He just threw it. He just threw it there. Like, guys, like he's moving so crazy at the moment. He has the Super Bowl on his fingertip now. Kendrick is a beast. Like, I was listening to it and I'm telling you, and I was thinking, what will Eminem do if something goes wrong between him and Kendrick in this moment? Eminem, I'm a big Eminem fan, and I think Eminem is one of the craziest rappers ever. I think Eminem will wait this out too. It will have to wait until 2 years from now, and then it will come for Kendrick when maybe Kendrick is a bit regular again, because Kendrick is on God level at the moment.
I mean, I think they would try not to cross path.
That would be what it is. But I feel like Kendrick can cross anyone's path now, and everyone will stand back. Bro, Kendrick will put 50 Cent to be like, hey, if he mentions 50 Cent on a song today, 50 Cent will come out and turn it to a joke. Hey, Kendrick.
Yeah, he won't even bother, because Eminem is still that guy that still believes if he's 80, he can still respond to a diss track. I don't think 50 is in that phase anymore. He'll just be like, yeah, he's my guy. I'm not, But Eminem would want to do something.
But I feel like even Eminem's response would take a bit of time now, because Kendrick is on God level at the moment. I'm a big Eminem fan, but I can see the strategic response to a Kendrick diss at the moment is just to learn from J. Cole and say, not the time. Not the time. This guy is on a run like never before. Like, because now he's also now breaking commercial grounds as well. Like, he's sticking to hip hop and he's breaking commercial grounds. Not at Drake level yet, but I feel like there was no way Drake should. This guy said, fuck the singular. It was like, he said, Kendrick on one of the songs said something like, fuck that nigga. It's not even fuck that nigga. It's the plural. Fuck everybody. I was like, no. Yes, sir.
I'm not even a rapper, bro, but I'm listening to that album. I'm like, dude, if I was a rapper, I'm like, no, we can't read.
I was going to give it 9.5, but honestly, 9.5. But let me just stick to 9 so that it's not like I'm ass leaking or something. I was a Kendrick fan.
I've always been a Kendrick fan.
But I became just a regular. I'm back to being a Kendrick fan with this one. I'll listen to this album like crazy.
Yeah.
So that's it with the album review session of this. Now we're going to another session, which is more non-topic. It's our last topic of the day as well. And I'll read it out to you to see what your thoughts are, right? So what does it mean to you to not care about what people think? So basically, when people say, I don't care about what people think, what does that mean to you?
What that means, or at least what I would think of such a person, is that this is a very selfish person. This is a very self-centered person. And yeah, we definitely should worry about what people think, not what the world thinks. Yeah, but people close to you, people that there should be some people that can still, in our culture, for example, they would be like that, like badly one, like Shonagbani, like that. There's this sort of elder role, not even in the immediate family, like in the whole extended family. Even there has to be this biggest, like the top guy, so to speak. So like that kind of person, for example, usually we don't have it anymore because I don't even know who that is in my extended family right now. But as a child, I knew we had,
no, but you still have it. You just don't know.
Yeah, we still do. Yeah. One phone call or just one sit down and telling you like, oh, this is what I think, this is what, it's like the idea of interventions and all these things, like they wouldn't be possible without not thinking, oh, what would people close to me, what would be the impact of them? If you're not worrying about that, then I think you're really, really a selfish person. I think definitely we should care about what some people think.
Do you think it's even possible that there's a human today that just does?
I don't think
not
it's even
care?
possible.
And what does that look like?
Yeah.
Like,
If someone would not care, I feel like it's definitely someone not wanting to participate in life, or with this whole idea of what we are, why we are here and stuff like that. Yeah. Going to
society.
a forest or to somewhere and just staying there by yourself, depending on yourself. I think the struggle is when you fully know where you stand, who you are, when you know what, like, in your core, then you know what you are doing, what your goals are, what you want to achieve and whatnot. Then it's easier to know when I want to think what people think or when I want to care. Absolutely, in some decisions, you just know fully well that, okay, this is what I have to do. And with your moral compass or whatever it is that you judge your decisions on. But then fully saying with every decision that you make, you don't care what anyone or anybody says, I don't think it's even possible. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you that what it would look like to not care at all would be solitary, not participating in society, and just because that's the only time where you can truly only focus on yourself and say whatever selfish reason that I'm existing, that's what drives me now. But the moment you have to interact with someone else, I feel like it would be a conscious decision to say, I care to make sure that they think of me as someone that doesn't care.
Exactly.
You have to care about something. The moment you start to interact with someone else, there's something you care about. Whether you care that you don't disappoint them, or you care that they know that you care about them, or you care that they know that you don't care about them, but somehow you care about something. The moment you interact with someone else, there's no interaction without some sort of connection of expectations coming up. You know, there's just no interaction happening. And please tell us in the comment section if you have different thoughts about this. But for someone that truly doesn't care, it's a full disconnection from society and life as we know it in a community.
Yeah. I also wanted to add to that, like, I think someone close to that or trying to do that would be Ye. I think Ye has that mindset strongly. I don't know. I'm not Ye, right? And I think what would happen to you is you might go insane if you try to do that and dealing with people.
No, but Ye does care about things. Like, I'll give you a billion examples.
No, in this interview, you remember when he said, like,
I don't care what he said.
Every time they ask you a question, if you're already thinking of whatever, then your life is a test. And it sounded deep, but I'm like, yeah.
He cares. Kaisina got a trouser from Yeezys. He put it on, it was bigger. What did he do with Kai? He started texting him like, oh, you're bashing my product, blah, blah. He cares what you think about this product. He cares what you think about his music. That's why he puts it out there. He cares what his daughters think. He cares what Kim Kardashian thinks. He cares what his wife thinks. He's demanding for us to give him respect. He cares. There's no one. Like, if you give more examples, I'll point it out to you. He might want to act. He might want to communicate that I'm a little bit more selfish than the other person, or I'm satisfied in my own decision-making process, so I won't concern myself. But it factors it all in.
I think, it's the statement that even though you are trying to act like you don't care, but you want us to believe that you don't care, you know?
Exactly. The moment you start acting it, that you don't care, it means you care that we see you as someone that don't care. Like, so that's why when someone is acting like I don't care, and then you go to them like, oh, I see that you care a lot, they will correct you and be like, no, I don't give a fuck.
No, I don't care. Because it hurts them then. Yeah. He's like, no, that's not what I want you to think.
Nah, you give a fuck. For one thing, you give a fuck what I think. You want me to think you don't give a fuck, but you give a fuck about that.
Maybe some people don't truly care, but the interpretation for that, for me, that would be depression.
Exactly. That's society. Complete withdrawal from community, withdrawal from society. That's what it looks like. And when you withdraw and you're not depressed, it just means you care more about plants and animals, but that's fine. You care about something, but you don't care about people. Okay, you'll be in a forest, you deal with monkeys and baboons and bears and stuff, but that's it. You have to withdraw from human interaction to truly not care. If you're still within a community, if you still interact with at least one human being, you care about something. There's just no way. I don't see it. But maybe that's it. There's a nuance there. I would like to see examples of what you think, what people look like when they don't care, if that's actually possible. Because for me, I believe that it's just not possible. But yeah, let us know in the comment section, guys, what you think. But that's our opinion for now. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. Super interesting episode. Looking forward to your comments, and do not forget to like, subscribe, and share our videos. We are on every platform, and continue to enjoy us. We look forward to more and more conversations. If you have topics that you would like us to discuss about, we'll do our research. Just shoot it to us, and cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.